The city of Clovis is located in the Central Valley of California. The city has its own fire department with a robust operations division as well as an active fire prevention force. Clovis Fire Department also takes an active role in identifying risks throughout the community and collects numerous sets of data that is available on request. While the department has made significant strides in reducing fire risks throughout the community, there are always opportunities to increase the safety of the citizens they serve. One such effort is the nonprofit Community Risk Reduction Grant that this video supports. Community Risk Reduction, or CRR, is a multi-step approach that agencies can use to discover and mitigate risks that are present in their response area. The 6 steps of CRR are identify risks, prioritize risks, develop risk mitigation techniques, prepare the CRR plan, implement the plan, and evaluate and modify as necessary. The process of CRR allows an agency to appropriately dedicate resources to address specific risks to their community. For example, in California, a wildfire that threatens large swaths of land which surround suburban neighborhoods are a significant risk that must be addressed. Conversely, the City of New York using funds to create wildfire fuel breaks would be an unwise use of resources. In this way, the stakeholders for the city can properly assess the greatest risks that our community faces so that funds, personnel, and efforts can be most effectively directed at the issues that will have the greatest impact. The first step is to collect data to be able to identify the risks that are present in our community. Only by understanding the people and stakeholders that the agency protects can it hope to mitigate the fire risks that are present. Demographics are a critical component of this understanding. The U.S. Census contains a wealth of information about the people that live within geographic boundaries. The data contained in the census is separated into many levels, such as gender, age range, household size, income, and many other categories. This allows the agency to choose the information that is most pertinent to their efforts and create a clear picture of their needs. The local Chamber of Commerce is another place that information can be found. This organization collects information on businesses, financial trends, employment, and can sometimes identify vacant commercial buildings. This is an important data point because if the commercial area has many vacancies, the community will tend to struggle to maintain a healthy financial portfolio. The city annual report is an opportunity to look at local trends such as how the city is growing or shrinking and what tactics the organization is taking to address those issues. Fortunately, most agencies report to the National Fire Incident Reporting System, NFIRS, run by the United States Fire Administration, which is a collection point of information regarding incidents from over 24,000 U.S. fire departments, which then can have their information culled and sorted to form a clearer picture of the types of risks that the fire department has historically responded to. A recently obtained data set of fire incidents in the city of Clovis that were reported to NFIRS over a 4-year period offered an opportunity to identify a currently significant fire risk. Negligent use of equipment, whether left unattended, not cleaned, accidentally left on, or not operated properly, was a significant fire risk factor during the data period. These causes 13 fires from January 2017 through December of 2020, resulting in more than $375,000 in damage. This accounted for nearly 10% of all fire causes in the city and almost 6% of the total fire loss during that period. While that is a relatively small amount of incidents and financial loss, the purpose of CRR is to incrementally reduce the risk in areas that the agency can have an impact on. This is the risk that will be discussed today. The financial impact is only a portion of the impact that these negligent use of equipment fires have. Each fire loss also needs to take into account that a family's home is damaged or destroyed, the pain of burn injuries or deaths, and the lost time from work if the fire occurred at a business. While these losses may not be able to be quantified in terms of dollars and cents, it is nevertheless important to factor those in when attempting to determine what resources are appropriated to these efforts. In other words, the financial resources and efforts that the agency asks for is capable of saving money, property, and lives. In addition, the fires initiated by negligent use of equipment require the entire 5-station fire department to respond immediately. This not only poses a traffic hazard as the fire apparatus travel urgently to the fire, but also causes each of the apparatus to not be available for other fire calls, rescues, or high-priority medical aids. The delay caused by an engine being committed to a preventable fire also cannot be described in dollars and cents. These fires impair the efficiency of response, leading to neighboring cities to fill the gaps. Funds that are appropriated to these community risk reduction efforts are an investment in reducing fire incidents, therefore improving fire department efficiency. Fire department costs are somewhat easier to estimate since there are a set number of engines for a set amount of time for each of these incidents. Each engine has 3 personnel, and 5 engines respond to each fire. If each incident requires all 5 engines for an average of 2 hours, and each employee is on regular time, the personal cost is more than $1,000, which doesn't even account for the wear and tear on apparatus, fuel, tools, hose, and other equipment, pushing the total well over $10,000 per incident. Firefighting is a hazardous profession, so any injuries incurred on scene would also add to city costs. All these considerations highlight even more clearly that it is far better to invest funds in preventing fires than to spend financial and other resources on fire incidents. It is unlikely that citizens of the community are intentionally operating equipment negligently, so it is a matter of people not being aware of the risk. In this way, CRR can bring mitigation strategies directly to those who can make an immediate impact on their own behaviors. By partnering with safety organizations such as United Underwriters Laboratory, National Fire Protection Association, and referencing manufacturers' instructions, safe equipment operating habits can be developed by community stakeholders and designed into flyers, pamphlets, and infograms. The challenge would then to be efficiently distribute these materials to citizens. While traditional media outlets, such as newspapers and radio, are still valid methods of communication, a more efficient method would be to use the existing social media accounts that fire departments already interact with the public on. This way, the message can be tailored to the social media audience, whether Generation X, Millennials, or Generation Z. Fortunately, government agencies are not the only entities that are focused on community risk reduction. Several nonprofit organizations offer grants to support public fire departments in the study, development, design, and distribution of risk reduction strategies. One such grant is the one the fire department is applying for in the upcoming weeks. The $100,000 grant provides $50,000 while the city chips in the other half. This is a significant investment, but as shown during the 4-year study the research is based on, the grant could potentially reduce fire calls by 10% and prevent loss by $350,000, saving equipment and personnel costs of $130,000 for a total of nearly $500,000. This results in a return of investment of $10 of savings for every $1 invested. As any money professional will attest, that is a very good investment. The City of Clovis Fire Department hopes the Council approves the matching funds for the Community Risk Reduction Grant. Both the Prevention and Operations Division will devote earnest efforts to implementing these strategies so that the fire department can provide more effective and efficient services to each city resident being served.